Hey guys, decided to try out a new format for my reviews. Hope hearing my sweet, heavenly voice works out well as I get my points across. Fans Try is good. Just good. Sometimes not really good. Kind of a microcosm of how odd a director Paul Thomas Anderson is and how his approach to film can sometimes operate. The man has made 8 films so far, and has traded his more colloquial everyman approach to storytelling to get across more of a mood, let his aesthetics tell the tale. His protagonists feel a bit more larger than life. Kind of makes sense as he becomes more and more successful. 2 things that stand out about Paul Thomas Anderson that are relevant to this film. He has wonderful control of his work, and even with his successes and seemingly untouchable stance as a filmmaking darling, he's always daring to be vulnerable, especially compared to his more audacious contemporaries. Of his work, 4 of them have been about the ruinations of success, incidentally all of them have been period dramas, while the other 4 are about trying to remain sane in an insane world. I feel he puts his own personal touch in both, and with Phantom Thread, it's about an artist who strives for perfectionism even in the woman he has taken as his muse. That's a really interesting place to go, especially being Anderson's second outing with Daniel Day-Lewis. This film shares remarkable commonality with There Will Be Blood. It's likely unfair to compare the two as they are different stories in their own rights, similar films just telling different stories, if that makes any sense. Why There Will Be Blood works better as a film is that a lot more is happening and evolving than in Phantom Thread. In Phantom Thread, we are there pretty quickly. Reynolds Woodcock and Alma Ellison fall for each other very quickly, and we're dragged through their uninteresting courtship with the inconsistently handled framing monologue. There are very plotty tours similar to There Will Be Blood, but they are there to reinforce certain points and expand upon them. I think the fractured relationship between these two, because Woodcock's domineering patriarchal manner is fascinating, and their argument halfway through it is a cavalcade of acting, but it's just not sustainable or gripping enough to make anything wholly fulfilled. It's like we're missing another half of the movie. This is because the relationships are passive rather than reactive. This can be explored fine, but the movie is a lot more interested in navel-gazing and setting evocative tone than it is actually figuring out what makes these characters tick. We get a lot of emphasis on Woodcock's mother near the beginning, and that's all we're meant to take from it, which isn't nearly as fascinating as getting a broader context to the relationships that are supposed to matter here. Leslie Manville is fantastic as Reynolds' busybody sister Cyril, but it's hard to place exactly what her role in these proceedings is, which is pretty bad considering this is a 3-person narrative. And still, there's a lot to love here. Even if the visuals can get in the way of narrative, it truly is a stunning film to watch. Paul Thomas Anderson takes this 50s English aristocratical setting like a glove, with lush and vibrant production design and some wonderful cinematography. I love the glide up the staircase, or how deliberately cut the asparagus scene is. Speaking of, Day-Lewis once again gives a powerhouse performance. I've never seen an actor so recognizable just disappear into a role. Vicky Krieps gives a solid performance as Alma. She's just not as strong as her co-stars. Probably one of the best things in the film is the score by Johnny Greenwood. It's classical and it's haunting. I think there's an amazing movie hidden within these threads, maybe with some tighter editing and more focus on characterization. As it stands, it's an interesting outing by a celebrated filmmaker, and a beloved act. This may be his final role, Asper's, and one I'd recommend if you're a fan of either or both of their work. I'll continue to be fascinated by Mr. Anderson, and who knows, maybe another rewatch will lead me into seeing this as one of the greats.